Hi everybody, my name's Tangi and I am one of the ones who's going to be doing some of the devotions through our Bible study. I've never videoed myself doing anything before, so this is a little new for me and a little different. Yes, I'm in my car. No, I am not driving. But when you homeschool and you're a chauffeur and an Uber and all those things that most moms are, you do it where you can. And today just happens to be in my car in a quiet space. So that's why we're here, but it's all safe. I'm parked. I'm not driving. So this week I have two characters from the Bible. Not characters, people from the Bible. Sometimes I think we read the Bible like they are characters and we forget that they're real people. So that's side note. But I'm going to be doing two people, two women. I'm going to be doing Rebekah and Rachel. But today we're just going to focus on Rebekah. Now, before we get started, let's backtrack a little bit to Abraham. So Abraham and Sarah had Isaac, and Isaac was about to get married, but Abraham didn't want his wife to be from Canaan. So he wanted Isaac's wife to be from his hometown and one of his relatives somewhere in his family line. So he sent a servant to Nahor, if I'm saying that right. And this servant was afraid that he wouldn't be able to find the right person. And so he prayed a prayer and asked God that a woman who will be willing to give me water, but not only me water, but my camel's water as well, will be the one that you've chosen for Isaac. And before he'd even finished his prayer, Rebekah had come to the water. Now, whether she overheard the prayer or she didn't, it doesn't really matter. But when she offered to give his camels water, he took that as a sign and he put jewelry on her and adorned her, and she ran back to her family. They told them all the whole story, and they said, this is for God. She can go, but they wanted her to stay a few days. And Abraham's servant was like, no, she needs to come now. And so they asked her, do you want to go? And she was like, yes, I will go. And that's pretty awesome in itself. For someone she's probably, late teens to 20s, early 20s, to say, yes, I'll go. I'll leave everything behind. I'll go on my own and go into this adventure. Now, whether she was doing it because she felt it was from the Lord, or she was doing it for the promise of romance or the aspect of adventure, we don't know, and it doesn't matter. As much as it matters is her willingness to go. So then she goes and she marries Isaac. Now, her and Isaac seem to have a very good marriage, but she's barren. She can't have kids. So Isaac goes to the Lord in prayer. And after about 20 years, the Lord blesses them. And not does he just bless them with one baby, but with two babies. And I don't know about y'all. Some of y'all probably have twins, but I don't want twins. I have Jordan and Addison, and they're 11 and a half months apart, and that's tough enough. Like, twins, I can't even imagine. Good job, moms of twins. But so she's pregnant. She's going to have twins. Well, then they're fighting in her stomach, and she's like, why is this happening? And the Lord tells her, you have two nations in your stomach, and one's going to be stronger, but the older one is going to be ruled by the younger one. And when they came out, you see Jacob pulling on his brother's heels, trying to beat him out. Although he doesn't win, Esau's born first, and then Jacob. So now she has two boys. Parenting, though, I'm not so sure they got this part right. Actually, we know he didn't get this part right. Jacob was loved by Rebekah, and Esau was loved by Isaac. Now, as a mom, I can't imagine loving one of my kids more than the other. Like, that's a hard concept for me. But whatever happened and however it played out, one loved one and one loved the other. And I think Rebekah loved Jacob too much. Sometimes we think as mom, maybe you love with all your heart. You love with everything you have. And that's true, you do. But is it our place to love our kids the most, or is it the Lord's place to love our kids the most? And so Rebekah loved Jacob so much that she overheard a conversation where Isaac was going to give a blessing to Esau. And she said she wanted to deceive Isaac, her husband, whom she loved, who prayed for her to have both these boys. She wanted to deceive him, and she wanted Jacob to do the things that he had told Esau to do, and she was going to help him. Now Jacob was kind of nervous. He was like, Mom, I'm not hairy like my brother. He's going to know it's not me. I have smooth skin, baby face skin. And she was like, the curse be on me. If something goes wrong, I'll take blame for it. I'll do it. Now, I guess that was nice of her, considering this was her plan and her idea. But Jacob didn't say no, so they did. They went and prepared this meal, and they covered Jacob in goat skin and put on Esau's clothes to trick Isaac, because he couldn't see very good at his old age. And so they go in, and Isaac gives the blessings to Jacob, which is what Rebekah wanted. Rebekah wanted the son that she loved to have the blessings of Isaac. And so she got what she wanted, but in the midst of getting what she wanted, she also lost Jacob, because now Esau wanted to kill him. So she pleaded with Isaac to send Jacob to the land of her family to find a wife, which was deceitful in itself too, because she really wasn't wanting him to find a wife. She was just wanting to protect him from Esau. So you have this woman who was so willing to go where God wanted her to go, which is a great aspect and something that we need to learn from. She can't have kids. They pray. She's able to have kids. And then her priorities get messed up. She starts putting the things that she prayed for above the one who gave them to her. Instead of trusting the Lord with the plans for Jacob and Esau, she tried to control everything. Now, this one hits home for me because I'm a control freak. I try not to be, but it's true. I like to know how things are going to work out. I like to know the end. I like to know the plan. I'm okay with surprises, like in the middle of something, but I want to know this is where we're going to start, this is where we're going to end, and the things in between are okay, but I need to know. So having control is something that I've struggled with, and I'm sure all of us struggle with controlling something in our lives and wanting to have that control ourselves and not surrendering it to the Lord. But when we do that, we are not trusting in the Lord, and we are taking away from the blessings that He has for us. Now, when I was preparing this and thinking about what was I going to talk about, and kind of afraid it wasn't going to be long enough, I started thinking about how, okay, Lord, this is what I started praying. What do you want us to learn from this? So yes, we have the story of Rebekah. We know what happened. But here was the things that He really hit home with me on these three things. Number one, when God's servant came, God's providence was shown when He found Rebekah and when Rebekah was willing to go. God answered the prayers of Isaac by giving them Jacob and Esau. And then God's prophecies were fulfilled with Jacob and Esau being two nations. And so I started thinking about it, and in the midst of Rebekah's lies, in the midst of Rebekah's deceit, in the midst of her trying to control everything, God was still sovereign. God was still answering prayers. God was still showing his providence, and God was still fulfilling prophecy. And no matter how much she might have thought or felt or did mess things up, God still used everything to fulfill his will. Just like he's going to use everything in our lives, the good, the bad, the ugly, the great, to fulfill his purpose and to fulfill his will. So let's think about that. And as we do, let's remember to trust him and not try to control things, and to lean on him when we're afraid, and to just surrender. Thank you guys.